Hello everyone. As promised, I am making a video about my tie-dye party event setup. Now, I'm in my garage because we're going to get storms all day today. I wanted to set up outside, but I really wasn't confident that I could get this done and put away before we get storms. So we're gonna have to use a little bit of imagination, just a little. It's mostly set up the way I do it, but I don't have a tent up because I'm in my garage. I do events at a local bar that I have a relationship with, that I do the merch for. And when I go there, they have like a covered deck porch, and I have tons of room to set up, and I don't need my tent. So, you know, it is what it is. But this is basically how things work, okay? All right, I'm gonna turn you around. Give me a second. Okay, so I have generally 2 tables. I would have an 8-foot bench here and a 6-foot bench along there. They're still in my car. I must tell you, most of this stuff normally stays in my car, especially during the busy season. The tables, the benches, my tubs full of blanks, everything but my dye, my buckets, my dye in my buckets. And I'll go over that. So, okay. So I generally have tablecloths on my tables. This makes it really easier, a lot easier to clean. I use, that right there, Lysol Oxy Action. I always have a bottle of that and a roll of paper towels with a backup, because you just never know. So these tablecloths make it really easy to see the dye and to get it wiped up before it can get on your shirts. Now, I have a bucket of soda ash and I put everything inside. As soon as a customer comes up, they'll tell me what they want. I'll go grab that item, throw it in the bucket of soda ash, which is right there with the blue lid. And then I will get them some gloves, which is right there. I will get them gloves. I have small, medium, and large adult size, extra small adult / kids. And these, which are rated 3 to 8, I believe, ages 3 to 8. Those are the smallest ones I've ever been able to find. So if it's really little kids, you just kind of have to make do. But they come up, I grab their item, which I'm a little different than a lot of people because I have over 20 different blanks. I have 3 types of pencil pouches. This is just a basic one for $10. This is one that has 2 zippers for $15. And this one has a tassel and a lining inside, and I sell this also for $15. The tassel does not dye very well, so I am looking to find maybe some tassels that do, and just make my own or do that. Now I have larger ones that I sell. These are, I believe, 10 or 12 inches. I think I sell those for like 18 or 20. I have tote bags. These are large tote bags, or just like regular size tote bags. Sorry if I'm swinging you around. Regular size tote bags. I do get smaller tote bags, like 13 by 13 or 14 by 14 for like trick-or-treat bags. They're really great for trick-or-treat bags, or like lunch bags for the kids for school. Those are really popular. I have drawstring backpacks, and just like specialty bags with rope handles, or like sort of leather handles, or, you know, things like that. So they will come up, they'll sit down on the benches. I will grab them their gloves. Everybody gets an apron. These are adult size aprons, but they have adjustable necks.
They have adjustable necks so that they can work for even kids. In fact, they are adult aprons, so they cover more of the kids' clothes. I found that just makes it just easier that way. Then I will grab whatever they're wanting. I have hats in here, bandanas, towels, aprons. I think that's it in here. These are more towels. These are more bandanas. Now, this is really one of the big things that I started doing early on. These are just the cloth closet organizers, right? You can find them on Facebook Marketplace. My friend had these two that I started with that she gave me for free, but you can find them on Facebook Marketplace for really cheap, or Amazon. I have gotten some from Amazon that I have in my other bins. I have 5 of them. This one is for kids short sleeve shirts, just regular kids short sleeve shirts. I have them labeled by sizes, right? And then I have baby onesies and toddler shirts in here. I don't have any tank tops right now. I don't have any kids or adult tank tops right now. So this right now is just V-neck shirts. And I just put them all up here by size. And then when I am done with my event, they collapse right like that. And they go in, I have 2 bins that they go in. I'll show you those in a second. But these generally will hang on the corners of my tent at the back. I'll have one on each side of a corner. And then if I don't have a place to hang them, if I'm like at a birthday party, I have it, I have this wagon. This wagon also goes in my car, and I use it to help bring things for setup. It is longer than the normal wagon. You can fit a full 10-foot tent in here, like an Ozark tent. It'll lay down in here flat. So I fit all my tables in there. If I'm doing it by myself, I've gotten it down to 3 loads from my car with the wagon, from my car to where I'm setting up. 3 loads is basically how I've gotten it down to. That's just experience. I've been doing this now for like 4 or 5 years. So yeah. Again, this is my setup. I'm open, I'm always wanting new ideas. I'm happy to share my ideas. This is just what I have found works for me. Please feel free to ask me any questions. When I post this video, feel free to ask me anything, and I will gladly answer any questions I can. Now, I have 2 tubs of dye. I normally will do big bottles. I believe these are 16-ounce bottles. I do big bottles on this side because it's the 8-foot side, and these smaller ones are 8-ounce bottles. And I put those on the other table over there because that's the shorter side. I have a big bottle and a little bottle for every color I have. And some of the colors that are more popular, I will even have a backup, and I'll show you. Those are over there. I'll show you. They're like squeeze bottles, like ketchup squeeze bottles that I keep, like red, orange, yellow, pink, purple. I have backups of those because I have run out of dye before, and I used to just bring my dye and urea water so I could just mix it up really quickly. But if you're super, super, super slammed, that takes a long time. So I just started bringing extras of the most popular colors. Now, Okay, so customer comes up. I have, sorry, it's a lot of walking. I hope that doesn't bother you guys. I have 2 signs that I hang up. I have to redo the signs. I need to print them out, fix them, and print them out again. So I have these 2 signs that I have hanging up. I keep extra hooks, like hooks, in the tub, and I will show you all that. And then, so at first, when I first started, I was doing strictly me taking every item home and processing it. But what I found was that a lot of kids didn't want to wait a week to get their item, and that's totally understandable. So these are the signs I had when I first started, was that you dye it, I take it home, I process it, and deliver it back to you, or they can pick it up. Now I offer them a choice. I say, I can process it for you and deliver it, or you can take it home. The majority of people actually choose to take it home. And instead of giving them a card with washout instructions, I have printed this yellow thing out, which is really, really easy to spot. And I will tape it up or hang it somewhere, and they can just take a picture of it. And it gives my washout instructions, you know, as well as my phone number and my email, in case they have any questions or they need to get a hold of me. I also will ask them if they remember to shoot me a picture when they're done with their item. Usually they don't remember, so unfortunately I don't get a lot of product photos anymore. That was my favorite part, was seeing how everything came out. But, you know, do what you can. So I have these metal trays. Now, I will say I got a lot of stuff on Facebook Marketplace or from like friends and family that they were getting rid of stuff. But I also got a lot of stuff from the dreaded A company that 2-day ships to your house. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that in this group, but I got a lot of stuff from there. These trays were 2 pans and 2 racks when I got them a couple of years ago were $14. And I got 10, I believe, to start. They have lasted me all, these are still the same ones that I bought when I first started. So they're amazing, they're great. They're kind of heavy though, and they do make a lot of noise in the car. So there are other options, but I will say that these pans, if you take care of them, then they work great and they will last you forever. Now, once I get them their gloves and their apron, I usually have along the back of my tent, right? I will have example shirts hanging up, or if I'm at like, you know, a bar or someplace with a deck and they have like lattice or something to hang on, I will hang up all my shirts on there. And you know, it's like a swirl and a couple swirls, a couple bullseyes, you know, some of the easier things to make. And while their shirt is soaking, is my bucket of soda ash. I keep this stocked. It generally is either in my car or in my garage. I maybe dump it out once a season and redo it. Otherwise, I just keep dumping soda ash and water in. It's fine. Nothing's going to grow in there. I live in South Carolina. It gets to 100 degrees, especially, you know, in the summer. It's fine. So I will put whatever item they get in here, get them their stuff. Then we go over, you know, what designs they want. Yeah, sorry, use your imagination. I don't have them hanging up, but I usually will have stuff hanging. I also like to have an example of each item that I sell. Like I will have a towel, a kid's shirt, adult shirt, you know, an apron. I do hang some pencil pouches up, things like that. I like to let them see the different things that I have to offer. Once they decide their designs, then we talk about colors. These are my backup bottles. These are my backup bottles of color. And I just dump them into the bigger bottles or the little, whatever runs out. Once they're all done with that, that generally takes 10 to 15 minutes, depending. It can take, if I'm going faster, if I'm super swamped, then I can break it down in 10 minutes. And by then, their shirt really is fine. It doesn't need to soak that much longer. I've never had an issue with something only soaking 10 minutes and not coming out bright. Just the way it is. I'll get their stuff out of the bucket, wring it out, put it down on the tablecloth, and let me just tell you, wet stuff with soda ash water will pick up any spare dye or paint or whatever color is on anything. Your hands, the table, anything. That's why I clean it. I mean, that, and I just like to sanitize everything because we're dealing with, you know, kids and tons of people. So after, you know, everybody gets up and leaves, I will spray this down so that the next person can come and everything's cool. So I will give them their stuff. I'll help them tie if they need it. I have all of my rubber bands. I color code them by size so that when I am packing up, it is easy to know which rubber bands go in which bag, and I can just throw them in there and I don't have to just keep searching. So these are the smallest ones. Again, sorry, I had to open that. Again, this is from the A store. You can find them also at, you know, Walmart, or any of the dye shops will sell rubber bands. So these medium, these are a little thicker. A little thicker, a little bigger. These are still, you know, a little thicker. These are the black ones. So, and then for like big items like towels, I have these really, really long ones. I don't use a whole lot of these, but I do like to have them on hand for the big beach towels and stuff. I have a set of these at each corner. So I have 2 bags of each size, and they will be at the corner of like the end of the table. I have a sign, a party booking. I have my business card, tote. I normally have pens in here, pens and markers. For, you know, filling out names and such like that. And then I have my Venmo QR thing. And then I also usually have a sticker just in case, because sometimes the big one doesn't like to work. I don't know why. Anyways, they will tie their item, get it ready to go. And I have doggy pee pads. Now, I didn't do that at first. At first, I didn't use anything underneath there. The dye would get collected in the bottom of the pan, and I would have to figure out a way to dump it, and it made a mess. So the turning point came one day when I went to go dump a tray, and instead of dumping it on the grass or whatever, it ended up dumping all over my table, and I was like, okay, I got to figure something else out here. So I came across doggy pee pads. Now, you can also find these on Facebook Marketplace. You can also find them, you know, at pretty much any store. I don't like these. I ordered these, but I don't like them because I can't cut them in half. I normally will take not those, where are they? Like this kind. Sorry, hold on. I like this kind because I can cut them in half and they work perfectly, which saves money. And if the person who uses it doesn't like saturate it, they don't like pour the whole freaking bottle of dye on them, you can reuse them. Like for pencil pouches or small items, I will reuse one of these. You know, obviously I'll clean the tray off, spray some of that spray on my paper towel and just wipe the tray off. And you can use it, you know, 3, 4, 5 times depending on how saturated it gets. And then when it gets saturated, you just take it off, fold it up. And I always have a trash bucket. Always have a trash bucket. I've been to events where there's no trash can. No place to throw stuff away, so I bring my trash bucket with me. It's just an old bucket that I used to do hydro dipping in, so nothing's gonna work out of that bucket. So they do their item, they put it on here, I get them their dye, they dye their item, then I will wrap it. I wrap their item up in either tinfoil or plastic wrap, depending on which I have. Sometimes I don't have one, I have just the other. And then I have gallon bags, Ziploc bags. That's where the marker will come in. So they put their name, their kid's name or whatever on the outside of the bag. I have 2-gallon bags, jumbo 2-gallon bags for like heavier things like hoodies and towels and big things that won't fit in the smaller ones. Now, if I take it home, and this is what I've had since the very beginning. If I take it home and process it, I have a contact card that I made. These are just 4x5 index cards, and I printed them out. Each bag, sorry, hold up, 2 minutes, 2 seconds. Okay. Each of these bags has a number on it, right? Like usually 1 through 25 or 1 through 30, and then if I have extra bags if I need to do that. So each bag has a number on it. This is the bag number, right? So bag number. And when I was first doing this, I have different sets. I have different colors of cards. I have like pink and green and blue and orange and yellow. And I'll show you the tags that they correspond with. So they fill this out, bag number, from the bag. I give them that number. I tell them, yeah, you're number 5, or I will fill that in after they're done. The date and the event, like, May 30th, and this is, birthday party XYZ, or, event, whatever the event name is. Their name, like the kid's name and the parent's name, or just the parent's name and a phone number. I always ask for a phone number, and I always ask for their address, because I've had it where I've tried to contact them and they don't get my text, and so I can't get in touch with them. In that case, I will just deliver it to I'll just go to their address and deliver it like on the front porch. I will also ask, I used to have on here their email address, because again, sometimes you just can't get in contact with them. Now, I have the item and the size. I haven't updated these with everything yet because I don't do a lot of these anymore. But it's like t-shirt, adult shirt, pencil pouch, tote bag, beach towel, and the way they paid. And they just circle that. And then I keep this card and I put it in a pouch that I have with just these cards in there. I wrap their item up. I put the item in the bag. The item in the bag goes in a bucket. Now, hold on. Here, I'll set you down. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back, sorry. So, I have these plastic tags. Again, from the A store. They are plastic tags, and these are waterproof labels, like for the garden. And I just write the number, right? And again, I have colors corresponding. So if I do more than one event in a weekend, each event will have a different color, right? And then when I am ready to process the items, I have a tagging gun, and I will put a number tag on their item that corresponds with their bag number and the number on their card. And it is waterproof, so I will wash the item with the tag on it. That way I can keep track of who's whose. I do not dry them. I hang everything to dry, period. Because these will melt and like curl up in the dryer. So I put the tag on, wash it, twice, do the fabric softener if I need to, hang everything up in my laundry room, and then when it's time, when things are dry, I take pictures of each item with the tag number on there, and then I refer back to their card, and I will text the person a picture of their item. Now, if they have like 2 or 3 kids and all those kids did an item, it'll be like numbers, bag numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, and that way I know to send all of those pictures and all of those shirts or items or whatever to the same person. I don't make them fill out separate cards. So that's how I do processing. Again, these are just plastic tags, and these labels come in like a roll of like 5,000, and I cut them up. I have never had to buy another roll of the labels. See, they're that big, right? Normally, I just cut them up for the numbers, and I've been doing this 5 years. I have never had to buy more labels. I use them on my bottles. I use them to label everything, and I have never had to buy another roll of them. I mean, I'm getting down, I'm getting close to the end, but I love them. And I'll just cut them up however I need to. I have a bag of event tags because generally at events, one person will only dye one item. At a birthday party, I usually try to do 2 items unless they're really small kids. And so at birthday parties or, tie-dye or like tipsy tie-dye or any kind of party and they do 2 items, I have 2 number 1 tags, 2 number 2, 2 number 3. That way I know, I can group them and I'm not having to go out of my mind matching numbers. Okay, so they're done. I wrap up their item, give them their bag. They take their gloves off. Their gloves immediately go in my trash bucket. They take their apron off. Their apron immediately goes into my apron and rag bucket. Now, I do this because After the event, all of the aprons, all of the rags are in here. I take this bucket upstairs and I dump it straight into the washing machine. Wash them, dump them straight into the dryer, dry them, and then I sometimes remember to fold them and sometimes I don't. Anyways, they will get put back in this bucket. If I remember to fold them before the event, they get folded and put in here. This is just a hefty tub. I do not have a lid for this one, and I'll show you why. Let me put you down. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. This is another hefty tub, just another hefty tub. And this is where my bags and my gloves and everything goes. All of that stuff. All of the rubber bands, the business card holder, the markers. I have a credit card processing thing. Everything, all of that goes in here. And I can put it away if you want to put it away for you. Obviously, I have more of these hooks if I need them for hanging up items or whatever. So everything just fits in here. Like this. That's why this is so smushed. Right? Then I will have the rubber bands. I usually tie them up, group them together like this. So all the bags for one side of the table are together, put a rubber band around them, they get stuffed in here. My signs just fit on top. They fit on top. Everything goes in here, and I have a lid for this one. And when I put them in the car, they fit in together like that. I keep a lid on this because I don't want all that stuff flying around everywhere, but this one I don't because it just makes it easier when I get to an event. Get all of this out, put the lid underneath, put this one inside the other one, and it stores just like that, and I can pull aprons as I need it. This wire thing I also got from Marketplace, but you can also get them online. This is where I keep my doggy pee pads. I have bungee cords that I use because I will lay this down in my car. I can show you a separate video of how I pack my car if you guys want to, but I figure you guys will just have to let me know. That's just like a personal thing for y'all, for your setup. So I have that, paper towels, and then I will wipe these off as best as I can. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job last time. And I will fold them up as small as I can, and they will get stored in here. That's why these are in plastic, in case there's any dye that happens to remain on those things. Now, again, I got these online. Depending on how busy the season is, they will last me a year, year and a half. Last year, I didn't do very many events because my shoulder was hurt, but I've had these now for 3 years, I think. If you keep them up, if you keep up with them, if you keep, wiping them down, trying not to abuse them as much as possible. Again, I keep them folded up in here. They will last you. They're like the plastic kind with the felt underneath. I think they cost me like $10 or $11 for 2 6-foot ones. And again, they've lasted me a couple of years. The year before last was a very busy season. Obviously, this is shaping up to be a very busy season. So, yeah, it just depends on how busy you are and how you take care of them. But they will last you. That's why I use these, because they're super easy to just throw on, wipe down. I normally have used black tables. They just seem to, like the Walmart tables, they seem to hold up better than the white ones. Like this. This is actually new for me. I just got this year. I have 2 of these black tables that I have had for 5 years. They are still going strong. I have no issues with them, and I love them. These are like $40 at Walmart. Again, I got them off Marketplace for cheaper. I got my 8-foot bench that normally goes around here. I got that on Marketplace. That was like a fluke find. Some lady ordered something and they sent her a bench instead of what she ordered. I got a $150 bench for like $40. You just kind of have to like look out for stuff like that. But these black tables, I highly recommend these. And that's partly why I started with the tablecloths, because it's easier to see and wipe up, but also because these tables don't wipe up very well. Yeah, I don't know if it's like the surface or what, but it's just hard to get them cleaner. This table is like a computer side table that you can do different heights. Like it'll go super low to the ground or even one higher than this. This is also new. I got this year. My family gave me a bunch of money for my birthday. I sunk it all back in here into the business. So this is new. Before, I used these wooden tray tables that collapse, one on each side. And I just had to hope and pray nobody bumped into them hard enough to send them crashing down. All right, so my shirt holders, right, collapse when I'm just, I just pull them out, fabric, and collapse them down. Super easy. I don't have to, worry about folding anything or putting any, taking the time to, take shirts out, put them back. Don't have to worry about that. And I generally only bring these out of the car if I need to do inventory or restock. And I know that after a show, if I'm good to go after the show, they stay in the car. Like those over there, if you saw, I needed to restock, so I was bringing these out anyways. So I'll restock. I generally will put like 10 shirts of each size for kids in that. And yeah, just depends on what event it is. Now, if I'm going to a birthday party that they have given me specific sizes, I will make a separate tub up for that birthday party. Because I ask for a deposit, I'm like, hey, if you can give me sizes for your birthday party so I can make sure that I have enough of that size for the birthday party. And I order them if I need to. So I'll make a birthday party box with all the sizes in there. Obviously, I still bring my stuff just in case I need an extra one, an extra sibling comes or whatever. Somebody wants to do 2. That's, I will bring I'll still bring everything, but I will have a birthday party tub with all the things that all the sizes that they have given me and the quantities. That has adult sizes, like unisex, long sleeve, and short sleeve in there. I have a kids short sleeve one only, and that one generally would have kids long sleeve shirts and kids tank tops in it, but I don't have tank tops right now, so it just has kids long sleeve shirts. The gray tub has hoodies, and I don't have a organizer for that. They're just rolled up in there because they don't really fit very well in an organizer. Sorry, in a cloth organizer like that. So I just rolled them up in that tub. What else? If you don't want to do, sorry, this is my pile of reverse dies that I need to finish or do. Sorry. If you don't want to do the metal trays, these plastic ones, I think I got like 30 trays with the metal racks for like $30. So these are super cheap, very economical. They work great. You just put your doggy pee pad and hit, and you're good to go. These I bring for bigger, larger events and larger birthday parties. If I know I'm going to be doing a crap ton of people, I will use these. I store my soda ash and a thing like this with the measuring cup in there. I also have one for urea pellets that I use to mix urea water to mix my dye. This table right here is a 4-foot table. I bring a 4-foot table, 2 to 3 6-foot tables, although I only have 2 benches. So right now I can only accommodate sitting down at 2 tables. If I bring a third, they have to stand. It's not the end of the world, especially if you're at a big event in the summer. Kids can just run up, they stand. So it just depends on, what event you're at, like your budget, that kind of stuff. I store my dye in these tubs. They live in these tubs. I bring them out for the event. They are in this tub. If it's going to be a really, really, really busy event, I will put the most important bottles, like the most popular colors. I'll just line them up. That's why these have gotten dye all over them, because I'll just line them up. That way I don't have to go searching. Normally, like I said, I will take the smaller bottles, put them over there, and the bigger bottles over here. And I'll just line up the most popular colors that I know will be used often on the side or in the front. That way I can just grab them easily. But everything gets put back in these tubs at the end of the event. And I have a dedicated refrigerator. Again, this was an acquisition from a family. My dad was getting rid of it, so I said, I'll take it. One of my tubs will sit on the shelf thing. It'll sit on there by itself, so I don't need it to sit on a shelf. So I just slide that in, and it sits nicely on those two little these two little shelf rests, and then the other one will sit up here. If I have new colors or colors that I don't use very often and I know I'm going to a really busy show, I will just stick those in here, and I don't bring them because I don't need them. Like a kid's birthday party, you're not going to use mist gray very often at a kid's birthday party. So, colors like that I don't bring. And then I usually have like electrolyte, like Gatorades or whatever in here that I bring with me. I have like little coolers that I will pack, and those go on the top shelf. Milkshake or protein shakes for when I'm working outside and I don't have time to get, go inside and get lunch or whatever. But I usually will have water and electrolyte drinks, whatever. I don't like Gatorade, so I usually do the different ones that I can't think of the name of. Anyways, that doesn't matter. They get stored in here. Sodas will be stored in the bottom, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, this tub right here is where I have my, where I generally keep my example shirts and stuff. This tub in here. I just recently washed everything and I'm revamping it. That's why there's just a ton of it just chucked in here. But I usually will put them with the hanger still on. I'll just sort of like fold it down, and that way I'm not having to put shirts on or off hangers. I can just grab them out of here. I use the velvet hangers. So they'll get a velvet hanger. I have a tag that says what the item is and how much it is when it's displayed so that people can see that. And then I will just keep that item on the hanger and just kind of fold it in here, and it's good to go. I think that's about it. Obviously I need to do a restock, but all of these baskets are from the dollar store. They're what I store my excess inventory in. Then I have this thing off of Facebook Marketplace, also where I store stuff like excess inventory. These I've had forever. When I used them when I was a teacher. I have all of my dye in these. Sorry, this place is a mess. In these things, I got these off of Facebook Marketplace. This is the dye that I use for liquids. That's why it's one on top of the other. I have bigger containers of each of the colors down in the bottom, but I have these that I mix my liquid dyes from, and that's why they stay together. Extra bags, paper bags for if somebody buys an already made item, or if I deliver an item to somebody after I process it. It goes in a bag. It gets a card and ribbon and a thank you. These are the puppy pads that I really like. They're larger, and for my purposes I can cut them in half and they last longer. In fact, I have not had to buy puppy pads until like last year. I bought a ton of them off of Facebook Marketplace. And I haven't had to buy them because I made them last so long until just recently. And there's 100 in here. That's basically 200. I reuse them. Like if they're not completely saturated and like dripping wet, I will continue to use them. Just wipe the grid off, the tray off, and you're good to go. All right. I think that's about it. Sorry, this is like almost an hour long. So, yeah. I'm sorry it took so long, but I wanted to be thorough and explain everything. Please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, and I will gladly answer them. If you want links to any of these items, I will gladly send them. All right. hopefully you guys don't get bored by me talking, going over my setup, because I didn't realize it was going to be so long. I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for listening. And again, ask me anything and I will be glad to send you links or answer any questions. All right, thanks. Bye.